Welcome back to video number 2. This is our palette cleanser for Saturday morning. Let's cover it all. There's a lot going on. Let's go. We're starting off with Princess Anne, who on December 18th got a Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of the British Equestrian Media Association. I love that she got an award and she didn't even have to pay for it. Woo! All right, moving on. Next up, King Charles gave 400 companies royal warrants, including Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Heinz Food, Molton Brown. And now, keep in mind, the warrants previously held by Queen Elizabeth have been reviewed, and 386 of those businesses will continue to hold warrants from King Charles. And in addition, Queen Camilla granted 7 new royal warrants, including her favorite fashion designer Anna Valentine and Fiona Clare. In case you're unaware, warrants are good for 5 years, and they're a mark of recognition from the royal household. It's a document that permits a company to use royal arms in connection with its businesses. There you go. All right, the next person we're going to talk about, of course, is Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, who apparently went to Bagshot Women's Institute at St. Anne's Church Hall in Bagshot recently. And she's a member of, by the way, of them. And she presented a certificate to Rita Freeman, marking 58 years of service. How wonderful is that? Next up, we knew that the royal lunch was coming. Remember, this took place on, I believe it's Thursday the 19th, and I'm just now talking to you about it because I was waiting for all of the relevant photos to come out. So the first thing was King Charles with Sir Clive Alderton, his principal private secretary, who was seen arriving for the, Christmas brunch lunch that he was having. Next up arriving was, of course, Duchess Sophie with Edward next to her, looking absolutely lovely and relaxed. Lady Louise and their son, James, were not present that I'm aware of. All right, next up, we have Lord and Lady Frederick Windsor with their daughters, Miss Maud and Miss Isabella. Those children were in the back seat. One you can see in the picture, one you cannot. But also, as a special treat, pictured in the back seat was Lady Gabriella Windsor, who rode with them to the lunch. Next up, obviously, we know that that's Queen Camilla. There were a lot of people going in that initially I did not recognize, and they had to be identified by other means. For example, this is Penelope Knatchbull. I have no idea how she's related to the family, but there she is. Arriving next up was Princess Beatrice and Eduardo Mapelli Mosey. And in the back seat was this woman. I didn't know who she was at first, but come to find out, she must be the nanny. The Duke of Kent and his daughter-in-law, the Countess of St. Andrews, then arrived for lunch. I'm so happy to see him. We know he's really getting up there in age. I'm glad he was able to make it. After that was the Duke of Kent's son, the Earl of St. Andrews, with his daughters, Lady Marina Windsor, who's on the left, and Lady Amelia Windsor on the right. Next arriving was Prince and Princess Michael of Kent. I'd know her anywhere, obviously. Then Prince Anne and Sir Tim Lawrence, and they looked lovely. I'm going to start nicknaming her No Nonsense Anne. I love that. All right. Then the next people, of course, were Jack and Eugenie Brooksbanks. Here we go with some more people. I don't know how they're related. Timothy Taylor and Lady Helen Taylor with their children. Lady Sarah Chatto, I believe she is Princess Margaret's daughter. Next up, Princess Alexandra, that nobody has seen since the beginning of the year. So besides Andrew missing, we were a little surprised that William and Catherine didn't show up, but then we found out that they were already in Norfolk, and that had always been the plan. So people just assumed they were going to be at lunch, but no. But they will be at Sandringham. And when it came time for people to leave, we got to see some really good pictures of people we missed earlier. So there's Sophie and Edward leaving. Then you have the Prince and Princess Michael of Kent, James and Julia Ogilvy, Samuel Chatto, and Lady Elizabeth Windsor. Now, Samuel Chatto, we didn't see him going in, but we did manage to catch him coming out. And that happened with a few of the other royals. On the way out, baby Sienna, there she is, 3 years old. Good shot of that face. We don't usually see that. And also, Wolfie was in the back seat. You see him on the left, and we don't see him that often either, but I'm glad that they included him in the family lunch. Then, of course, Eugenie's son, August, who's 3. We don't usually see him, and we saw a good shot of him going in because he was sound asleep, and then coming out, he was wide awake. And we don't see him too much either, so I'm glad we got those shots. And of course, we said goodbye to Princess Alexandra, who, by the way, will be 88 next week. Also seen leaving was the Duke of Kent's grandson, Lord Downpatrick, and Princess Margaret's granddaughter, Lady Margarita Armstrong Jones. So to finish out this video now, I want to talk about this article that came out because you know I've already deemed her secret weapon Sophie, and she has become the unsung hero, not just of Christmas, but just in general. Because we know that usually this is the time of year when everybody is super busy. They have a lot of engagements. They're doing all kinds of stuff. And Sophie has stepped up. She's been making mincemeat pies. She hasn't shied away from stepping up to help out when Catherine couldn't because she's doing her gradual return to duties. Sophie has done everything from charity work to going to glitzy events. She has literally taken the weight off of the shoulders of Catherine. She was at the Gettr State banquet. She was with the energy minister on that particular night because Catherine couldn't make it to the banquet. 2 days later, she was at St. Anne's Parish Hall. She went to see the Women Who Beat ISIS photography exhibition. You guys know, you should know all of these because, you know, I cover all of these every day that something's going on with the royal family. You guys know that recently, because I showed it to you, Sophie went to the Lighthouse in Woking to help support disabled people. We know that she showed support at the Princess's annual carol service. And not only was she there to support Catherine, they seated her right next to Catherine, which I think was really done deliberately. Then later on, Sophie joined the Disability Initiative, a charity that she's been patron of since 2003. She's busy, busy, busy. I guess my point is some of these events are Sophie's for things that she's patron of, but some was not. Some was stuff that Catherine was supposed to do. But because she couldn't go, Sophie took care of it for her. Sophie has really stepped up, as have Edward, since Harry and Meghan left. I kind of think this was a good thing because they have really shone brightly in the last year. All right, you know what to do. Put those comments down, make them good. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the thumbs up bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which is currently paused, my Amazon wishlist, and my physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.